The museum craze is popular among young people. Museums offer affordable and enriching experiences and a cultural atmosphere. They provide knowledge, discussions with friends, and opportunities to share photos on social media.
What?
Yes, due to the mismatch between booking mechanism and demand, technical reasons, information asymmetry, poor channels, limited museum resources, policies, and measures, museum tickets, most of which are free, are very difficult to book on weekends and holidays. In 2008, the Communist Party of China announced that museum admission is free in order to protect people's basic cultural rights and interests, improve public cultural services, strengthen international cultural exchanges, and promote the excellent culture of the Chinese nation. Since then, there has always been a frustration at the endless failures to book museum tickets, especially on public holidays. Desperate parents are willing to pay more but cannot find a way. Long-distance travelers who leave a place regretting not visiting the local museums where they may find a general introduction to their travel destinations. Who is to blame? Their own bad luck or the free booking system? This pilot study aimed to identify potential solutions and individuals' readiness to embrace change. In my heart, I long for money's ability to communicate without boundaries in this case. I did some online research, looking for related studies and articles. Of course, tourism capacity is a crucial factor, especially after suffering from COVID-19. Scalpers exist as long as the authorities do, but is there any chance to narrow down the illegal dealers? By enhancing quality and employing top-level design and brand empowerment, museums can establish themselves as cultural attraction cores and achieve stronger integration with tourism. I also found 2 studies on Chongqing and Shanxi history museums, analyzing current booking problems and arguing about charging issues, which did give me a lot of inspiration. Regrettably, despite numerous news reports and articles discussing solutions to the issue, I couldn't locate any published academic research. To start the survey part, I did some documents preparation. Letter of introduction, research consent, participant consent, and survey preamble. Then I began to design my survey questions. My study focuses on Chinese museums, so all the participants are Chinese. That's why I chose the Tencent questionnaire and WeChat. As nobody wants to spend 5 or 10 minutes on a survey, I would like to keep it as simple as possible. It took me several days to select the requisite questions and abandon those unessential ones, which I used later in some one-to-one chats. Sending out the survey was not random. I chose some friends whom I thought might be interested in museums based on what I knew about them. Then I realized how unfamiliar I was with some of my friends. 5 of the 55 answers were invalid because these 5 people claimed in question 3 that they never went to the museum. So I did data analysis among 50 valid feedbacks, and sadly, most of the results were out of my expectation. 92% would book the museum tickets in advance because 86% participants found it difficult to make a reservation to visit a museum. I thought a more precise booking time would help to ease the issue, Instead of booking a certain date, some museums have divided their reservations to the morning and afternoon. In question 5, I asked the participants about their opinions on booking the visit by hour, and 60% of them expressed understanding and agreed. People take free things for granted. I suggested a cancellation policy. For instance, museums could prohibit no-show visitors from making their next booking for a period such as 7 days or a month, even though they cannot charge for no-show visits. At this point, I had half supporters and half opponents. Then I asked if they were still willing to pay for an entrance ticket just like 16 years ago. Only 20% said no, because it is difficult to transition from extravagance to frugality. Although more than half of the 80% who said yes were reluctant, I'm still relieved. As I mentioned in the introduction section, if I am truly interested in the exhibition, I would be willing to pay more. This inspiration came from Universal Studios. Although an express pass costs triple the normal price, VIPs do not need to walk the long distance and wait in an endless queue for hours. But in question 9, only 26% agreed with me. What most disappointed me was that 76% of respondents, when asked if they had any additional thoughts, stated that no change was necessary. Only 12 people wished to see a change, and 10 of them have written down their own suggestions, some of which are horrifying, such as depopulation. But interesting. Thanks to these 10 answers, I gained more profound inspiration and reflection. As most of these answers did not meet my expectations, I tried to look for comfort in some more professional feedback. In question 1, 9 people identified themselves as travel agency staff, and 12 people claimed that they go to museums more than 3 times a year in question 3. So I picked out their answers to see if they had higher recognition than my expected results. They did not let me down in these 2 questions. During these data collection days, I had a chance to chat with someone who wanted to talk about this phenomenon with me. Here, I'd like to mention 2 representative short interviews. The first one is a colleague from Hong Kong who travels everywhere around the world.
Many museums offer VIP choices. The Vatican Museum, the Sistine Chapel, the Louvre, and the Metropolitan Museum of Arts all provide VIP options. However, this is not feasible in mainland China due to the government's need to uphold its reputation as a non-profit organization.
The second one comes from a Chinese mainland friend who believes that the market should control the price of museum tickets.
Free isn't fair. People who really want to go will never get the chance. There will be a critical point to ensure a non-crowded visiting atmosphere.
These private chats threw me into deeper disappointment. How to make museum bookings easier? It's not just to brainstorm ideas or emulate successful examples, especially considering the limited willingness of Chinese citizens to embrace change. I, as a museum fan who wishes to find solutions, I'm still a minority. This pilot study was not successful, but I did learn something from the whole procedure. Firstly, Research is difficult because it requires finding reliable information, analyzing complex data, and navigating technical jargon. It requires critical thinking, organization, and attention to detail. Unexpected obstacles and limited access to resources can also add to the difficulty. However, perseverance and effective strategies can overcome these challenges. Secondly, free can be the most expensive thing because it often comes with hidden costs or trade-offs. It may require sacrificing quality, time, or privacy. What seems free initially can end up costing more in the long run, making it a potentially expensive choice. Think about the Canadian Medicare. It provides essential care to all residents but faces challenges such as long wait times for certain procedures, prioritization based on medical need, and constraints on funding and resources. Thirdly, understanding friends can be challenging due to their complexity and potential lack of honesty. Building trust, communication, and spending time together are crucial for developing deep and meaningful relationships that allow for better understanding of each other. Okay, thanks for watching. This pilot study would be a valuable experience for my future studies.